Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Joe, happy Monday.
Good morning. Good morning.
How's your day going?
It's going good. Going faster than I thought. Man, it's just zooming by, zooming by.
I understand. Yes, it did clip along this morning. I got up even earlier than normal this morning. I wanted to make sure I got a good workout in, that kind of thing. And I'll tell you, it's just been like no let up, no let up. I hope everybody's doing great this morning. We're going to be looking at or Joe is going to be looking at the Bitcoin chart shortly. But overall today, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin and in particular, sovereign FOMO, because I want to make the case that it is here. And, even if the price chart doesn't necessarily show it yet, because I'm guessing that Joe is going to show us that that's probably the case, that Bitcoin's probably looking a little bit weak here.
Right.
But before we jump in, if you're new, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, tick that bell icon. Joe and I, are live here every Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. And I am live on Mondays, Tuesdays for Matrix Money Podcast, although we're taking a little bit of time off, but I may come in with a stream tomorrow night on my own. We'll see. I'm still trying to work out those details. And of course, let's not forget Friday night for Crypto on the Rocks. So let's see who's in the chat, and then we'll go from there. Jesse, welcome. Yes, smash that like button. Smash. Like Hulk smash. Yes. And see, this all over it. I gave him a wrench, and look what happens. He's got all Joe's information. And listen, it's always Joe's information is always in the description of all my live streams, all my videos. So make sure that you are following Joe if you're not already. As a matter of fact, we're going to be going straight to his live stream. Joe's going live at noon on his own channel. We're going to go raid that live stream. So hang tight to the end here, and we will be heading over. Who else is there? Oh, Dylan is in the chat. Welcome, Dylan. Yes, I hope you are having a great day. Everyone just came on. Okay, awesome. Listen, I suppose we should probably kick this puppy off, and we've got a lot of stuff to go over, but let's start off with the fear and greed index. Joe, you want to take a stab as to where it's at? What are you thinking?
I'm saying fear, and I always take a stab at 62.
Ooh, 62. All right, survey says... Here we are, 51.
Oh, I was going to say 55, and I said no, 62. Because last time it was like really fearful, but it was crazy high. So,
yep.
Oh, well.
That's all right. Hey, it's like anything else. You got to take it.
Right. That's right. I remember seeing it. What was it? I think like yesterday or something like that. Also, like really low. I can't even see your screen right now. What was yesterday? 54. Okay.
Yeah.
Last week, 53. Yeah. Wow. I mean, 43. I didn't see that. I didn't see those numbers. I don't look at it too much, but 43.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I understand, but most of the time I check it. I'm not gonna lie. I check the fear and greed index mostly once a week when Joe and I are live here on a Monday for the Crypto Market Monday. Right. Army Piper is in the house. Appreciate you being here. Oh, Luna Beaches Crypto, LBC. Thank you. Smash that like button. Appreciate that. I'm guessing we got a lot of people coming over from the Piper Academy. I was just there myself. Good information there. Always make sure you're following him. Link to Piper Academy in the description. As always, Army Piper live there, 10 a.m. Eastern time. And Joe, tell everybody, because you're live there all the time. Every Monday through Friday, 4 p.m., right?
5 at 4. Yeah. Piper Academy Network, it's got 5 shows. So it's really great because you get a different perspective from the different traders. It's not an echo chamber towards the same story over and over again. Everybody has different thought process, different ways of analyzing whether it's technical analysis or fundamental analysis. There's you really get the whole spectrum. So
Yes.
Fiber Academy, that's where it's at.
Yes, agreed. And there's no shortage of information showing up there. So again, link is in the description. Make sure you go and follow those guys. Those guys are awesome. All right, Joe. I say that we go and take a look at the Bitcoin charts. What do you think?
Let's do it.
You ready? All right. We're going to get into all our FOMO information after, but let Joe show us what we got going on in Bitcoin first. Go ahead, Joe. It's all you.
All right, guys. So, of course, I do my shows Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday and Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I also am doing shows at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
3 to maybe 5 times a week. This one we did last night. We pretty much erased all of our over 100 drawings, and we started fresh. And this is one thing that I always recommend people do it like once a week. Sometimes I do it 2 or 3 times a week, but at least once a week, minimum once a month. That way you clear the chart and you can start fresh. So it reduces the bias, because you may think, oh, it's going down. And then you clear the slate, you draw it again. It's like, well, I didn't see this before. We may get a bounce here, so it might go up. So that's just a pro tip. Always, clean the slate, start fresh. And for me personally, I do it at least once a week.
And you can see what LBC is saying right here. You're right, man. He does not sleep. I've contacted this guy at all hours of the day and night, and he responds. I don't know how he does it, to be quite frank. Before you jump in, Joe, let's I want to just kind of jump in real quick and say hey to a few people that have come in. Automatic Beats in the house. Welcome, Automatic Beats. Dave P in the house, and I'm doing great. And yes, for Trade Intuition as well. Appreciate it. And all right, Joe, I'm sorry I keep interrupting you. So
no, it's
man,
all good.
take it away.
Yeah, I love doing the shout outs too. Like everybody who's here, thank you so much. Thank you so much for smashing the like. You guys are the best. It really does help with the channel. Of course, there's a lot of content creators that are here and they understand the livelihood of just smashing the like. I mean, it's super easy. So
Yes.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it very much.
Much appreciated.
So right now we're looking at Bitcoins on the daily time frame. And what we did last night and yesterday was we pretty much just went and did the same thing as we always do. We go and we looked at the previous all-time highs from 2017. We got the candle body to the candle body from the next cycle. Then also the wick to the wick. So this way, it creates a zone. This is a liquidity zone, selling pressure zone, whatever you want to call it, rejection zone. This is just an area of interest to where when the price goes to, it might come down. Of course, always might, probability, chance of. It's never that it will. Very important, because again, the mindset is very strong. Then we have this candle wicks or then another level candle body. So I'm explaining how we're getting these zones. And one thing that I really like is when people are looking at this, they can replicate the chart because they know how it's done. That's the reason why I'm doing this. Then here we have this one where I have the dotted lines from here to here. And so the dotted lines, they let me know this is something that was internal versus the highest points. From the 2017 to the 2021, I have it really thick, fat lines. And then, of course, the recent, or the one that just passed, these lines are skinnier. So that way I know when I'm looking at this, what I'm looking at. So let's go ahead and look at this. Right now, we are looking at the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, it's not looking good. And of course, we've heard this time and time again. It's not looking good. And when we're looking at this, we have to not see what we want to see, but see what's really there. We have a high, we have a lower high, and then a lower high. Okay, so I mean, that's okay. And it's still in this zone. So this is telling us that it's still bullish overall because, we're having higher highs and higher lows. So right now, even though it's in this zone and down, it's still bullish. However, you right now, because it's not looking strong, this could change from a bullish sentiment to a bearish sentiment. Now, in order for it to remain bullish, here's our zone that we drew earlier, and we can see it came down, bounced up, came in the zone, bounced up, in the zone, bounce, bounce, in the zone. So right now, what we're looking at is on the daily time frame, we can see that we came into this zone, a little past it, and then bounced up. And right now, let's go to a 4 hour so we can see more of the ups and downs. We're looking at this, and we do not want it to cross, well, rather, this level right here, it's okay if it comes down to it as long as it bounces. If we don't get a bounce from this level, we're looking at more than likely it not even trying to bounce here. It'll come down. This is our level to bounce, and it's easier to see on the 1 hour time frame. I love charting this and looking at the 1 hour. I get a clearer picture of this. But if it comes down here and it bounces, great. But if it breaks this, I'm pretty sure it's not even going to try to bounce here. It's going to keep on coming down to around this level, and then we're going to see if it bounces off of my zones. One of my questions that I received yesterday was, how do I draw these zones? Well, I just use the top of a wick, whether it's this wick right here or this wick down here, and then to another wick. And this is just an area. It doesn't mean that it will bounce here. It's just that this is called liquidity or buying pressure. So we have a higher chance that if it comes down here that it might get bought up and come up. Same thing with our bounce too. Now, all these zones, they mean different things. This one, green, good. I want it to come in here. I want it to come in here. We have this bounce zone and this bounce zone. So 2 bounce zones, which is strong, for a possible bounce coming up, getting rejected here, coming down, bouncing again, breaking through. Then we have this next bounce zone, which, and these are just numbers I'm throwing out of the air. If the price action breaks down out of this zone, comes into bounce zone 2, it's about an 85% numbers I'm just throwing out of the air. 85% chance that if we come into this zone, we're going down. We might come up to do a bearish retest or a rejection, and then come down, break this level, then continue into our get ready to short zone. Now,
I love the fact that you have that written right in there. Get ready to short. I love that.
Yeah. So can you short right now? Sure, of course. Now, the difference between shorting is the times you're going to be in it, the duration. So could you short right now? Yes, definitely. I've been shorting. I'm longing, shorting. And these are just scalp trades, intraday trades. So within a few hours to maybe within the day. But I'm not holding these trades for 3 to 5 days. It's not a swing trade. Once we break this level, now we can do a swing trade. But here, like, you could do shorts and you could do longs. You can do whatever you want. But you're not going to have to like babysit it as much because, I mean, it can easily, flip. So this one thing that I'm really worried about is when we do enter this zone, and I'm pretty sure we will. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure we will if we don't do this bounce. But if we do come in here, the market makers know, every trader who knows how to trade is looking at this. Every trader, they see this low volume node, which means that there's not a lot of ups and downs, not a lot of support resistance. They see this, and they know that everybody's going to short. Everybody. And when that happens, this is what I think might happen, where we're going to come down, and we could come all the way down to here. And these are just additional zones using the wicks. But we have a zone here, a smaller zone here. Then on the 4 hour, it was going up, and it kind of hesitated and it continued going up. So this is my zone that pretty strong, well, a stronger area of a bounce, anywhere between. Oh, and I never did mark this. So let me mark this for y'all. So we're looking at, let's put this magnitude on. Let's go to the 4 hour time frame so y'all can see what I'm talking about. And we're almost done, guys. I know some people love this, and some people are like, oh, come on, man. Just tell me where the money's at. What do I do? But for me, like, I absolutely love doing what I do. And I love, explaining what I'm doing. But right, how come it's not? Oh, is my thing freezing up?
You froze up a little bit, Joe. I can still hear you, but you froze up.
Okay, I got a couple of them. Oh, maybe my internet, because I'm seeing things flash on me. I don't know. But hopefully I'm still alive. All right. So we have that there. And then, so this wick. So this is my, oh, not that one. So the reason I'm choosing.
Your screen is kind of frozen, I think.
Let's see here. Okay, that's moving. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on right now. Like, it's the first time the Matrix is attacking me.
Yeah,
Matrix is attacking. So here, so the reason I'm choosing this area for my zone, and hopefully y'all can see this now, is because the price went up, and then kind of stalled out a little bit here, and then continued up. So that's the only reason I'm doing this. So I think that if we get a bounce between maybe 79 and 81, now going back to this, if we come down, I'm pretty sure the market makers are going to be seeing all this, and they're going to say, let's go in and just wreck everybody, because now everybody's shorts. So as it's coming down here, the market makers and people in general can make support anywhere. This is one thing that I was talking about last night on my live stream. The support can become anywhere. And more than likely, if we do come down, the market makers will show us that it's looking really good for shorts, and then all of a sudden reverse it. And what I did, let's see here.
Yeah, just so you know, Joe, they can't see anything that's going on. It's you're completely frozen. We can hear you.
Really?
Yeah, but you are completely frozen.
Huh.
Oh, wait, you just started moving. So there's a plus. But your screen is, yeah, you are now moving, but your screen is definitely locked up.
That is the weirdest thing. I got to see what's going on this. Like everything's I'm connected.
Yep. Well, like I said, we can see you now. I'm gonna just pull this for a second here, and now you can probably see you're glitchy, but you're here. Yeah.
Yeah. So for some reason, for whatever reason, like the past, I want to say week, I'm guessing, my computer's been acting up. I haven't downloaded anything, not that I'm aware of. I haven't clicked on anything. I haven't gone to any Telegram groups.
Those websites, Joe.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm way smarter than that. Yeah. So I haven't done anything that I would think that would mess up my computer. But there's and I've been showing it too on my live streams, where my CPU, because I'll do the task, the whatever, Control Alt Delete, that task that, and you'll say that my stuff is going like 80, 89, 90% CPU. It's like, what? I'm not mining anything. I don't know what's going on. I just have, and normally I'll have like 3 live streams showing, and everything's fine. And now, shoot, man, I have 2, and it starts revving up, and I don't know. Maybe I got to turn this one off and turn back on my other one. But
I don't know. Yeah, I get that. That's what I was doing before we started, making sure that was, out of the way, so I didn't have any glitches like this. And Jesse's saying maybe a bad VPN.
See, and that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking too. So I updated my VPN, and I have Express VPN. That one's never given me any issues whatsoever. And then I'm also getting DNS problems when I'm trying to go to, like, let's see, a Telegram group, and you know how it tells you that you have to click OK to go into the Telegram group. When I click on that, it'll say it'll keep on thinking, and it'll say DNS whatever. So then I end up clearing my DNS. I end up doing a bunch of junk, but I don't know. I'm not gonna bore you all with that. But yeah, I'm having issues. And what sucks is I spent so much freaking money on this dumb computer, and I'm always having problems. I've never had a problem with computers that I've spent very little money on, ever. Yeah. And then same thing with my other computer, which is more expensive than this computer. I haven't used it because, well, it started having issues, but I think it's because of the HDMI cables. That's it. No more. But yeah.
Yep.
But in reference to the Bitcoin, I was already done. Done with the show.
Well, listen, I knew you were going to kind of go, and the probabilities were going to be high that we might be looking at some downward action. And from the sound of things, that's what you're saying. And I saw this meme, and I just had to like bring it up. So hang on one second. I'm gonna Altcoin Daily shared it, and again, links to all this are in the description, guys. But I thought this was great. You know, if you're a Matrix fan, this makes complete sense to you. You just get used to it. I don't even see dips anymore. All I see is 5% off, 10% off, 15% off. It's nice. Perfect. It's perfect. I just had to share that. So, all right. Joe, you know what time it is. I know you were running a little bit fast and late this morning. Did you get a chance to take your meds?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
That's the first thing I do. Is like, oh, it's Monday. Meds. Is it better or is it not better?
Well, let's go take a look.
Granted, it has to. It's not going to be a quick fix. So everybody like understand that it's not going to be a quick fix. There's steps that need to be done, and even though there's progress, like it's still steps. It's not going to be done.
Agreed. Yep. No, agreed. And I'll tell you what, it's man, I don't know. I kind of was wishing that things would be better quicker. But like Joe said, it's a process. It's a process. So what we do here is we take a look at where we were last week so we can see what the US debt has done in a week's worth of time, because we're going to bring up the live debt clock momentarily. But here we are. Let me bring this up full screen so everybody can see that. When Joe and I were live last week, the debt was $36,462 billion. Definitely not a small amount of money. Oh, and Doge, because Doge has been added to the clock. We can't forget that, right? 79,157 million. I'll tell you what, I can't believe that that's the amount of money that so far has been saved by Doge. It's just insane to me to think how inefficient our government is. It's just absolute craziness. Absolute 100%. But let's take a look at the live clock and see where we are this week. All right. So current clock live right here. National debt, 36,491 billion. That's almost 50 billion right there. I mean, yeah. Right? No, sorry.
Numbers.
Almost 30 billion.
Yeah.
Did I freeze up? I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, almost 30 billion. I mean, I don't know. And that's where I was saying I kind of expecting it to kind of slow down a little bit. I'm trying to stay optimistic. And what helps me to stay optimistic is this Doge clock right here. We're now up to $105 billion in savings. That right there is an increase of what? $25 billion in a week. Whew. That's all I got for that. Is like, wow.
That's crazy. And
it's absolutely crazy.
I'm not sure if you saw it or not. Where maybe I saw it really quick, but it was in reference to the judges that are slowing down or trying to slow down the process. How they're getting like subpoenaed or sued or lawsuits against them. Did you see anything about that?
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of it, and some of them have been successful. Those will be appealed and so on and so forth. Why would anyone want to be blocking the U.S. citizens from knowing? It just, Why would you not want to be more efficient? Why would you not want to be? Joe, just so you know, looks like you are frozen up again. Sorry, man. Yes, I apologize for the problems, but I know you've got Listen, for those who don't know, I'm about to get into some of the stuff that I wanted to talk about. So, I mean, Joe, if you need to go, by all means, go ahead, because I know you got to start your stream at noontime. And for those who are here, we are going to go raid Joe's stream at noon. So all you got to do is kind of hang tight and we will head over there. But Joe, if you've got to go and try and fix this, reboot,
I'm
whatever
trying
you're
to fix
going to
this
do.
right now. I do thank you very much. Of course, I'm going to still be here in the back end in the chat, and thank you very much. I'm not sure what's going on. My CPU, it's at 44, so it's not like at 90 or anything like that. Maybe it'll get some kind of conflict with the camera. I don't even know. But I'll break out the sledgehammer and we'll see what we can fix it.
All right. Well, you do that, and we'll see you in about like a half an hour or so.
Sounds good to me, man. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on my show. All right, guys. Thank you.
All right. Later. There you go. So now you guys are just stuck with me. So hopefully you were able to get a lot of good information from Joe. Guy, again, link to his channel in the description. Jesse has put it in the chat. If you're not following Joe, you're doing yourself a disservice. I want to just kind of go real quick, and some people have come in, and hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Randy, appreciate you being here. Thank you. Melissa, always good to see Melissa. Appreciate you being here. Let's see. 100 Air in the house. Appreciate you, sir. Good to have you here. And yes, what Jesse said, don't forget to smash up that like button. I appreciate it. And hey, share it out. Again, lots of good information here every Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. And again, usually Joe gets to stick around and put in his 2 cents for the rest of what I need to talk about. But what we are going to talk about, and I'm going to try and make the case, is that, the Bitcoin FOMO for sovereign nations is here. But before we do that, I do want to hit on a recent newsletter from Anthony Pompliano. Now, if you've been around, yes, Joe is saying the Matrix is real. Yeah, no doubt, man, no doubt. It's like these bots come out of nowhere, and next thing you know, you've got all kinds of glitches and everything else going on. I understand, been there, done that. Heck, some of you guys have seen me just disappear off my own live stream. So it happens. It definitely happens. But anyway, I'm going to start out first because we were just talking about the debt with a recent newsletter from Anthony Pompliano. And if you're not following him, Bitcoin Maxi for the most part, but definitely very knowledgeable, always promoting this space. And it's a must to be following him if you are not already. And oh, wait a minute, hold on, there it goes. So here it is. I'm gonna give this a quick listen here. So hopefully you'll indulge me to listen to this newsletter. It is about 3 minutes long, and I'll give you my 2 cents after that, and then we're gonna go look at some of the different levels of FOMO going on with regard to Bitcoin. But let's let Mr. Pompliano do some of the talking right now.
Good morning, everyone. The widely quoted annual deficit number is $2 trillion. In layman terms, the U.S. spends $2 trillion more than we pull in as revenue. That's obviously not good. But we got even worse news recently. The U.S. government is not running a $2 trillion deficit. They're actually running a $2.5 trillion deficit based on the annual run rate from the first 4 months of the 2025 fiscal year. Geiger Capital points out that the first 4 months of FY 2025 produced a deficit of $838 billion. That's $306 billion more than the deficit recorded in the same period last fiscal year. We're running a $2.5 trillion annual deficit. Now, the most shocking aspect of these numbers is not the nominal values, but rather the rate of growth. It is unsustainable if our annual deficit is growing 25% year over year or more. This explains why we are adding approximately $1 trillion to the national debt every 100 days. Insane.
And this is why Joe and I, for me to interrupt here for a second. Hi, it's my show. I interrupt, right? But this is why Joe and I look at the national debt every single week, because we want to make sure that we're bringing attention to the fact that this thing is growing at an exponential rate, and a rate that is just not even remotely sustainable. when you're doing $1 trillion of new debt every single quarter, basically, that is not sustainable in any way, shape, or form. And I know that's exactly what he's saying here, but I just wanted to point it out for those who don't always tune in to Crypto Market Monday. That is why we go through, and Joe takes his Joe takes his medication before we take a look at the debt and we review that, and why now it's really nice to see that Doge clock on the debt clock as well. All right, I'm going to let him continue, Mr. Pompliano.
Thankfully, we have the Department of Government Efficiency working around the clock to stop wasteful government spending. Here are the various savings Doge was able to create for the American taxpayer yesterday. The Department of Agriculture terminated 18 contracts for a total of $9 million. Department of Education terminated 29 DEI training grants totaling $101 million. And the Department of Education also terminated 89 contracts worth $881 million. This means that the agency tasked with eliminating government waste was able to stop approximately $1 billion of spending in the last 24 hours. These $1 billion days are a great start, but we're going to need even larger cuts to get to a balanced budget.
You're right.
Let's stick with the national debt for a second. We know the higher the number goes, the worse off Americans are. But there's a weird solution in Bitcoin that has presented itself over the last 15 years. Before you roll your eyes, hear me out for a second. We know inflation is bad for people who hold dollars. So what do smart people do? They exchange their cash for investment assets. Now, inflation works for the smart people rather than working against them. The same is true for Bitcoin and the debt. Porter Stansberry said it best on Marty Bent's podcast recently. Their debt is your problem until you own Bitcoin. The moment you own Bitcoin, their debt is your greatest asset. Plenty of people understand this phenomenon. Historically, they have not held Bitcoin, though. Gold has been a winning asset for these investors. As gold hits a new all-time high and nears the magical $3,000 price level, we can see that the precious metal has benefited significantly from the insane monetary policy and debt explosion over the last 5 or 6 years. I've included a chart.
And obviously he talks about a chart, and I'll let it finish up in a minute. But just so you are aware, for those who don't always follow the channel, last Tuesday we had Daniel Diaz, Executive Director of Citizens for Sound Money, on that podcast, and he was talking about a lot of the legislative actions that he has and is in the process of working on, particularly for him in Florida, to get gold listed as legal tender. But this is happening, or that kind of legislation is happening across the United States, to the point of gold hitting new all-time highs and increasingly moving toward that 3K mark. And just to couple that, we've seen how much, and we're going to highlight one example of it, where we have states also being part of this sovereign Bitcoin FOMO, looking to put in Bitcoin reserves within the states. But again, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. I'm going to let Mr. Pompliano finish up here, and then I'll give you my other 2 Satoshis.
Of the inflation-adjusted gold prices since the early 1970s. You can see pretty much since 2020, we've had a hell of a time in the gold price. And you want to know the craziest part? The gold price is not being driven by American capital allocators. Instead, the price is being driven by Asian investors. I've also got a chart here where it shows you the recent rise of gold trading volumes in China as just one example. Now, the incumbent investors want gold, but the new generation wants Bitcoin. You can see Bitcoin is quickly closing in on gold's market share. A great prompt to think about your portfolio is whether you think Bitcoin will continue to make up ground on gold, or if you believe gold is poised to turn around this trend. In the chart that I've included, you can see that Bitcoin as a percent of gold was all the way down under 1% as late as 2017. But now we are sitting at over 12%, with Bitcoin really making up a lot of ground. Yes. So you can probably guess where I stand on this. And now that the national debt is actually growing faster than we previously thought, we can hope Doge is successful while simultaneously protecting ourselves with a little Bitcoin. Hope you all have a great day.
All right. And that's the rest. And again, links, if you want to go and check that out for yourself, link is in the description. By all means, please do. But to his point that, Bitcoin is picking up a huge market share. And yes, there to some degree, it is across generational lines. So yes, you have the older generations who are all about gold, and the younger generations who understand digital assets and have been dealing with that kind of stuff pretty much their entire lives. And now they are pushing for more in the way of digital assets. And in this case, he's talking about Bitcoin. And if you watched the live stream I did with BC Port Corp and Brian from Tiny Crypto Blog a couple of weeks ago, matter of fact, I've been putting out some of the highlights, another highlight dropping tomorrow, actually the final highlight dropping tomorrow. We talk about the idea of a strategic Bitcoin reserve versus a strategic not a strategic, a national crypto stockpile, I think is what Trump called it in his executive order. And yes, Bitcoin definitely is the long and short of that particular live stream. Was what we said. We need to start there. It is the most mature asset in the space right now, et cetera, et cetera. And I think very few people would be hard pressed to argue that point. Whether or not you think that it's captured or this or that, that's notwithstanding. Matter of fact, that would be a conversation for a different live stream. But to that end, to the fact that a bigger market share these days is coming from the younger generation, it isn't just the younger generation. We have sovereign FOMO going on, and I'm going to give you a few examples right now to give you a little bit of food for thought, per se. And again, before I jump into that, if you're new, make sure you're subscribing, ticking that bell icon so you know when I go live. Make sure smash that like button. Appreciate you. Smash the like button, and that way it really does help. It's a free way to help the channel. Free way. And Jesse saying really quick here that he has to go and have a little bit of dinner. Yeah, different time zones, man. I understand. I'm just getting through the breakfast, and he's thinking dinner here at this point. So he's going to try and catch Joe's stream. Yeah, we're going to be live with Joe, God willing. He's got his computer issues all squared away, and we're going to be live with Joe in about, I don't know, just under 20 minutes or just over 20 minutes. Wait, okay, no time to cook dinner. Got to order something. I understand that as well. Oh, man. All right, Jesse, order something good, will you? Order something good. Matter of fact, order something for all of us, will you? Okay, let's get to this sovereign FOMO. And if you haven't already jumped in on the poll for, I put a poll into this live stream asking you if you believe that sovereign FOMO into Bitcoin was going to happen in 2025. Your options were yes, no, and hey, it's already happening. And right now, yes, is definitely in the lead, but it's a good spread. It's a good spread on the voting. So if you haven't already voted, make sure you go ahead and do that. Appreciate that. All right, let's jump into my first example now. For those who are kicking around on X, this is nothing even remotely new as far as news is concerned to you. But Abu Dhabi invests $437 million in Bitcoin ETFs. And I love the fact that they double this up with Wisconsin doubles its holdings because it shows it on multiple different levels. David in the house, welcome. Appreciate you being here. And okay, so Abu Dhabi. Now they're using, in this case, Bitcoin ETFs. And if you, again, links to this is in the description of this live stream. If you go and read that, you will see that they invested in IBIT, so BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF. And that's, I mean, I get it. A lot of these countries and companies and funds, etc., need to be able to access things using these instruments like ETFs. And obviously, the best way, not only for us, but in my opinion, for these countries would be to go and maybe take a page out of the El Salvador playbook and purchase the Bitcoin, hold the Bitcoin, because again, not your keys, not your coins. We all know that mantra here. But I get why countries, companies, states, whatever, would be potentially interested in looking into having a ETF be their main holdings for Bitcoin, or for that matter, other digital assets as they come online, because we've seen how many ETF applications coming on. Piper was talking about it this morning on Piper Academy with regard to the Litecoin ETF. And I think that, to me, makes a lot more sense. Litecoin as an ETF makes a lot more sense to me than some of these other ETF filings that we've seen. And I for those who are here often, you know that I'm not a fan of a couple of those projects that have filed for ETFs. But that notwithstanding, the fact of the matter is that Litecoin has been around and has a great track record as well. Whether you like Litecoin, don't like Litecoin, it doesn't matter. I use Litecoin all the time, every month. It's how I pay for my VPN. I know we were talking VPNs earlier. I happen to use TorGuard VPN. Again, link for that in the description if you're looking for a good VPN. Again, no issues with it. Uploads, downloads, works great for me. I've never had any issues. And a matter of fact, if you use that link, you get 50% off for the length of time, for life, basically, that you use that VPN service. So go ahead and check that out if you're interested. But what I like most about that particular VPN service is I can pay with cryptocurrency. So they don't keep any information. So like your browsing history, that kind of thing. And a lot of VPN services don't, on purpose, right? Because they don't want to be subpoenaed by governments who are trying to do overreach. And we got a lot of this stuff going on in the EU right now, right? But they don't want to even do that. So they don't save the files. But beyond that, with the exception of my email, that's it. That's all they know about me is my email, because I use cryptocurrency to pay for that. So they don't care who I am as long as they get their cryptocurrency payment. And for that cryptocurrency payment every month, I utilize Litecoin. Love Litecoin. I think you should use that for what it's meant to be used for. Meant to be used as money. But anyway, off my soapbox, I guess, at this point. Anyway, so back to the Abu Dhabi. I think it makes complete sense why Abu Dhabi, in this case, would take their 437 million and put it into ETFs, in particular IBIT. So it is what it is. I understand why it is, and I understand why countries, companies, etc., states would be looking to do that in the form of a Bitcoin ETF. So, yeah. Dave is saying, can you use LTC that's been in? Yes. Is the I'm assuming you're referring to what I was just saying about the VPN service. The answer is yes. Thank you for asking that question, because honestly, I didn't even consider mentioning the whole Mimble Wimble thing. So yes is the answer. All right. So now, to play off the Abu Dhabi, we have, and again, no stranger to the cryptocurrency space, Cynthia Lummis, senator here in the United States. Matter of fact, let me change that screen, bring her up there. There we go. That's a little bit better. And definitely proponent for Bitcoin in particular, but the space as a whole. And here you go. She's talking with specificity here about Abu Dhabi's Bitcoin acquisition. And I love how she says it. I told you the race was on. It's time for America to win. And amen to that. The race is on, and she has been like beating that particular drum. And again, to the reason that right there is the reason why I put the specific poll that I did into this live stream. So again, I'm going to wrap up that poll shortly. So make sure that you are already voted if you have not already. But here you go. Cynthia Lummis has been beating the Bitcoin drum, trying to get the Bitcoin strategic Bitcoin reserve legislation through Congress. The bill is already out there. I would like to think that they would work a little bit on the language of the bill. And for those who want to know what I would like to see on that language, if you didn't already watch the live stream with BC Port Corp and Brian from Tiny Crypto Blog, watch the video I dropped on Wednesday for that. And I lay out what I would like to see in that language. Bottom line is I would like there to be a revisitation of any strategic reserve that's looking to being part of the sovereign wealth fund for the United States. But I get into more of that in that clip, so you can go ahead and watch that. But right here, you've got Cynthia Lummis basically saying to Congress, I told you so. I told you so. And I love that. I love that. To me, perfect. Absolutely perfect. So what more about FOMO? Well, it isn't just, like I mentioned earlier, sovereign nations looking for FOMO. And again, haven't even mentioned talking about the United States potentially entering this particular race. But the fact that the United States is even talking about it is what, in my opinion, is causing a lot of this. So it's not just causing it on a nation state level. It's also causing it on a state level here within the United States. To that end, let's look at this. This was put up by Cointelegraph, but now there are plenty of other. Whoops! Again, I should have probably put that up. Sorry, guys. There we go. That's a little better. And I happen to pick this one because it is about the latest one that we've seen get through. And as they highlight here, Oklahoma's Bitcoin reserve bill just passed through committee, now advancing to the floor for a full vote. And huge. Lots of states. I think the last time I counted, there were, I want to say, in excess of 15 states already having passed some form of Bitcoin reserve legislation. And if I'm wrong, please feel free, correct me in the chat, or if you're watching this on the replay, by all means, throw it in the comments. I do check all my comments, try and keep them clear of spam, because my God, I don't want to get off on that particular topic, but holy crap, is there a lot of spam and scammers in comments on my videos. And I know it's not just my videos, but it's just insane, the amount of people. Jesse, thank you so much. Jesse just put the link to BC Port Corp's channel. Again, that is also always in the description of my live streams and my videos, but thank you, Jesse, for making sure that that's in there. You're the best. Oh, wait. Oh, things are freezing on me now. Now my mouse just, okay, there we go. Yeah, thank you. Look at this. This guy's all over it, man. All over it. Anyway, so here we are looking at, in this case, Oklahoma being the latest to start moving the Bitcoin reserve legislation forward. So, and like I said, if we're already talking 15 that have passed the legislation, and I know there are several more who have done like Oklahoma here and has moved this type of stuff forward for full votes. So then obviously on to the state governors for signatures and so forth. Just imagine what kind of supply shock is going to happen. Now, I know that some of these companies, say that 5 times fast, some of these countries are doing mining, for example. One of the, matter of fact, Bhutan, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct, so if I'm not, oh well, sorry. But anyway, I put a link. I did an entire live stream about that and how they've basically come out of nowhere mining Bitcoin and own a crap ton of Bitcoin from just doing their mining efforts. And let's not forget, we have El Salvador doing mining as well, their volcano mining, etc. So we know that there are nation states not just buying Bitcoin, but actually going and mining Bitcoin, which to me, for nation states, sovereign entities like that, it makes sense. And even down to the state level. So right here, for the case of Oklahoma, once this is passed, why not? Why not mine some Bitcoin? Good Lord. Beside investing in the Bitcoin, you can easily mine it and actually support the network, right? Makes complete sense. Makes complete sense. So I'm going to take a quick break. I got one more thing for you. Let me get this off the screen right now. And just to kind of show the whole FOMO aspect of things. Now, again, I know we talk about businesses all the time and we see things with like MicroStrategy. Oh, wait, new branding strategy and so on. And MetaPlanet does it all the time, and Semler Scientific, etc., putting Bitcoin on their ledgers. But you know what? More to be said about that. Just again, if you haven't done so already, make sure you smash up that like button. I really appreciate it, and it's a free way to support the channel, and I really appreciate everybody being here today. And don't forget, for those who are still here, we're going to be heading straight over to Joe's live stream in about 8 minutes now. So let me start wrapping this thing up here so we're ready to go when the time comes. All right, so let me bring up this last thing I have. And again, links to everything I've talked about today is in the description of this live stream. So go ahead, check it all out on your own. Do your own research, as they say, and get that information for yourself. But right here, oops, sorry, I hit a wrong button. Dang, nabbit. The joys of live streaming. All right. Right here in this particular article on Crypto Slate, they're talking about State Street and Citibanks, both looking to do crypto custody services. Now, I'm not going to say that you should be taking your Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency and putting it into a centralized custodian. Complete antithesis of what this space is all about. The idea is to have your own self-sovereignty, right? By putting it into places like State Street or Citibank is just, you're cutting yourself off at the knees. Now, I understand State Street, Citibank would want to do this because there are going to be customers that, one, are not going to want to deal with private keys and not going to want to deal with seed phrases and cold wallets and all this other stuff. I get it. And there might be entities such as, businesses, whatever, who also just want to be like, here, take care of this for me. So it would be remiss of State Street and Citibank to not be going down this particular rabbit hole. But the fact that they are, and not just them, they just happen to be the latest that are being touted out there that are looking, the latest TradFi instrument, looking to start. Oh, dang, I just can't press the right button to save my life today. Oh my God. Thank you for being patient with me, everybody. Appreciate it. But they are just the latest. So to me, again, the fact that they're even continuing to look into this, build out the infrastructure necessary to do and provide these services, very, very, very indicative of the FOMO that's going on right now with regard to the cryptocurrency space, especially here in the United States, since this new administration has taken over from Biden. Oh, well, thank you. I love it. Appreciate you subbing. Thank you. Easy way, like I said, easy way to go ahead and support the channel. Oh, look at Jesse is all over this, man. All over this. Link to Joe's live stream in case you want to you got to leave or whatever, and you want to jump right over there in the live chat. Thank you, Jesse. And for those who are still hanging around, we got about 5 minutes. We're going to head over there. So what do you think? FOMO here. Is it going to happen this year? Let's see what the poll says. I'm going to go check out the poll. We'll close out the poll. And here are the results for those in the live chat. All right. So 53% of you say that, yes, we're going to see Bitcoin FOMO on a sovereign level in 2025. 30% of you ironically said no. That surprises me that was that high. And then 15% saying, oh, already happening, man, already happening. I'm not going to lie. You guys just shocked me with a 30% vote that, nope, we're not going to see it. Wow. Maybe we need to have a live stream and talk about that. All right, let's wrap this puppy up, and then we're going to head on over to Joe. So appreciate everybody being here this morning. We're live every Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern time, Joe and I. We talk Bitcoin, we talk the debt, we talk about the fear and greed in the market, and I come up with a different topic every week, or topics every week, to help keep you informed about what's going on in the space in general. On Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern time, the Matrix Money podcast on this channel and other channels. I am joined by Crypto Jar and FF. Matter of fact, FF is over in Hong Kong right now for all the Bitcoin related festivities going on there. So hopefully we'll be seeing some live streams or videos with that content while he's there. So if you're not already subbed to his channel, link is in the description. Go ahead and do that. He sent us a message, was showing us a little bit of video walking around, and said he was getting right down to business after he grabbed a quick nap. So I'm excited for that. But you can watch the Matrix Money podcast here every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And then every Friday night at 7 p.m., I try to bring in the weekend with a little brewski and conversation. I'm always joined by Joe from Trade Intuition. I am joined all the time by Crypto Bedell, Shuby, and honestly, 100 Air. Been showing up a lot these last few weeks, and all of you, just about everybody that's here right now in the chat, is there in the chat on Friday night, and I really appreciate you. But every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, Crypto on the Rocks. Okay. That's pretty much what I've got. And obviously, I drop videos throughout the course of the week. So always trying to put out good information. Matter of fact, I'm working on a kind of newbie series, going back to the roots of why I started my website and my socials and this particular channel, was to kind of not only document my journey, but hopefully show new people coming into the space how they can avoid the pitfalls that I've stumbled on. And to that end, I've put together kind of like, as of right now, anyway, a 3-module series. I am going to be recording tomorrow with BC Port Corp, one of the videos. Honestly, we've got so much information scheduled or slated to talk about in that video. We might actually have to break it up into 2. And then Thursday, Crypto Billy and I are going to sit down and do another one, putting a video together, talking about what the right mindset you should have being here in the space. And I'm looking very, very much forward to that. All right. Just checking the chat one last time, and looking like we're caught up on everything. All right. I appreciate everybody being here. We're going to head out right now. All you got to do is sit tight, and YouTube will take you right over to Joe's stream. So appreciate you being here. We'll see you next Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern time for Crypto Market Monday. Let's go. Make sure you're typing in CCM Raid when we get to Joe's stream. All right. I'll meet you there.